So before this video begins, I do want to apologize to everyone in advance if I sound tired at all throughout this video. I just got back from my trip from Florida from Disney, and I just got back to my house last night, and I'm still pretty exhausted from my trip I had from Florida. So I do apologize in advance if the audio is quieter than normal, and I do apologize if I sound tired. I've been doing a lot of running around while I was in Disney. But regards from all that, apparently a lot of things have been happening since I was away, so I'm not going to probably be able to keep up with all the stuff and all the news, so I am going to try to do my best to cover the important news. And one of those big pieces of news was apparently Bobby Kotick is apparently stepping down and retiring from Activision Blizzard. Now, I do want to address a few things as I go throughout this video. Until the end of 2023, Bobby Kotick is going to be staying around a little longer because there have been reports from a lot of people online, including a lot of popular content creators on YouTube, like Young Ya, for example, have been reporting on this issue, saying that Bobby Kotick is apparently stepping down and just taking his golden parachute, I guess some people would say, and is apparently done with the games industry. And this is fabulous news for a lot of people. I shouldn't really have to go down a road down memory lane of just the awful things that this son of a bitch has done to pretty much everything. I mean, the list goes on and on. And to save everybody some time, Bobby Kotick deserves to be gone from the game industry and possibly existence, in my opinion. And trust me, I have a few more colorful words I like to say about the man myself. But before I go off the rails so soon, I do want to read you this article that somewhat summarizes Bobby Kotick's retirement, I guess is the best way to put it. This article does come from ArsTechnica. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but I'm going to pull up the article and I'm going to read it to you all, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions after. Now, keep this in mind. I do want to try to clarify as best as I can as I go through this article and throughout this video. Bobby Kotick is still staying around until the end of this year. So, but at the start of next year, 2024, that's when he's going to start taking his parachute and just leaving. So, again, I do want to clarify as I go throughout this video. So, I'm going to pull up the article and then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions after. Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision Blizzard, emailed employees after news of Microsoft's successful $69 billion acquisition to say that he was fully committed to helping with the transition and that he would stay on as CEO throughout the end of 2023. Kotick's statements left some ebulliently, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, about his plans for 2024. But Bloomberg Jason Schreier reports that on January 1st, Kotick will depart. It's a massive change for the video game industry, Schreier writes, which seems almost restraint. I apologize. I am so tired at this point. If I pronounce anything wrong here, I do apologize. Given Kotick's longevity and recent history, several employees Schreier spoke to are very excited for this deal to go through, specifically to see leadership change, which I'll talk about in a second. Kotick, who has led Activision for more than 30 years and orchestrated its merger with Blizzard, had considered stepping down in late 2021 following a lawsuit from the state of California alleging a frat boy culture rifled with paid disparity, sexual harassment, and a Wall Street Journal report alleged that Kotick failed on the acts of hundreds of abuse allegations with the company, and also kept the company's board of directors in the dark. Activision, who was also sued by its shareholders and pressured by the state of treasures over its secretary, and response regarding the California lawsuit. All this led to an employee walkout and calls for Kotick's resignation. Now, obviously, there is a lot of stuff to discuss here and go through, and I'm just going to try to explain this as easy as I can, and I'm going to try to talk about it as best as I can. So, to put it quite simply, everybody is thankful, including people who worked at Activision Blizzard and people in the game industry who just play video games, like myself and people like you watching this video. People are just glad that this tyrant is going away. People are glad that Bobby Kotick is resigning, and people who worked for the man are glad that he's resigning, because it's been made pretty clear that nobody likes this douchebag. Nobody likes him. The way that he's treated his employees, sexually harassing them, causing a massive walkout, causing people to take their own lives, the list just goes on and on. It's very obvious that Bobby Kotick is one of the most notorious people throughout the entire industry. If not, I would argue say one of the most notoriously hated people in all of humanity, due to all the things that he has done, due to all the terrible choices that he has made, due to the fact that he put pretty much people's lives in jeopardy and the company in jeopardy. It's been made pretty clear that news like this, Bobby Kotick finally stepping down and finally going away, this is a godsend in a way. Now, let me explain here. What do I mean by that? Bobby Kotick is no longer going to be around in terms of making terrible decisions and destroying people's lives and destroying game franchises that people love. And now that there's going to be new leadership finally coming to Activision Blizzard, especially with Microsoft finally acquiring Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. Finally, I think a lot of people are going to be happy to see that new leadership is going to be coming in as CEO. Who do we know that's coming in? We do not know at the moment. But what we do know is Bobby Kotick, as of now, I do want to clarify this as well. He is still going to hang around until the end of this year, because obviously, if you're stepping down and you're trying to retire, there is a bit of a process, especially if you're CEO and everything. There is a bit of a transition and that needs to go through and everything, so that's going to take some time. Just like how Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, and I assume it would be the same way with Bobby Kotick when he's stepping down as CEO. That transition to new power, I guess, is gonna be taking some time. Who's gonna hold up that new role as CEO? We don't know. Only time will tell. But as of now, this is a blessing for the industry, because again, nobody liked Bobby Kotick. He was one of the most nastiest, greediest, most disgusting, and most hated person in the entire planet, in my opinion. And seeing that Bobby Kotick is going away, I am so glad that this is happening. And this is great news for everyone that plays video games and who develops video games, because no one is going to have to put up with this narcissist of a man. And to put it quite simply, nobody wants Bobby Kotick around anyway. So, for all we care, Bobby Kotick can just take his golden parachute, and hopefully that parachute malfunctions, and hopefully Bobby Kotick will, somewhere down the line, pull that parachute realizing, oh shoot, this parachute isn't a parachute, it's actually made of money. Let me pull the emergency cord. So if he pulls that emergency cord, again, more money comes out, and hopefully something bad will happen to Bobby Kotick. Because again, for all the stuff that he has done, and for pretty much all the things that he's done to his those poor employees at Activision Blizzard. And keep in mind, the people that are just like developing games and everything, they just want to develop games. Yeah, to be fair, there have been some terrible business decisions over at Activision Blizzard, but at the end of the day, there are still people over there that just want to make games for fun too. But with Bobby Kotick leaving, finally we can start seeing a shift in morale over at the Activision Blizzard studio, and hopefully developers will be more happy with new people taking charge as CEO, and hopefully that they're being nicer to their employees, unlike Bobby Kotick, who pretty much just doesn't give a shit and continues to pretty much just destroy everyone's lives and reputations. So, to wrap this whole video up, good riddance to that nasty C bomb. I would have said the C word, but I think we all know what I'm trying to say when I say the C bomb and everything. So I think it's quite obvious. I think we can all agree. Good riddance to that C bomb. Now, for those of you who don't know, what do I mean by C bomb? Well, you know how you play baseball and you decide to bunt and move the ball slightly forward? Well, instead of the word bunt, replace the B with a C. That's Bobby Kotick. So, good riddance to that douchebag and everything. Hopefully, this is a step in the right direction for Activision Blizzard, and hopefully, this new random CEO, whoever it is, decides to take Bobby Kotick's place. Hopefully, they can lead Activision Blizzard in the right direction, and hopefully, that it's a good change and not a bad change for the company. Lord knows that Bobby Kotick stepping down is a good change for the industry. That's a fact. So, again, just to clarify, Bobby Kotick is still staying around until the end of 2023, but at the start of 2024, or at some point in 2024, Bobby Kotick will be gone. So, hopefully, Bobby Kotick will be gone sooner than later, but as long as the man's stepping down and is going away, good riddance to him. So, with that being said, thank you everybody for watching and for listening. I know the comment section is going to be spicy and everything, but honestly, go for it. Bobby Kotick deserves all the hate. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching and for listening. And until next time, I'm talking about Bobby Kotick finally stepping down from Activision Blizzard. And I'll see you all later.